Fernando is talking about how evolution solved the motivation problem for learning. We're going to look at what that looks like. He's the founder of Sua Vez. We were talking in the networking session. I hadn't met Fernando before. He is currently in Brazil. Is that right? What city from Brazil?
Right, I'm from São Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Well, coming all the way from Sao Paulo, all the way to Europe, or Gamification Europe, which is online. That is true. But still, welcome to Gamification Europe, Fernando. Very glad to have you here. Very glad to participate on this chat with you. However, now the audience is all yours. Take it away.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to share my screen so I can show you what I have in mind here. So this is my company. It's Sua Vez. It's in Portuguese, it means your turn. And I want to ask you some questions over here, which is, I want you to, what kind of memories do the next images I'm going to show evokes on you? So I want for you to imagine what kind of memories these images evoke on you. Okay, I want to know which place you engaged in situations like this. Okay, this is a tunnel. Okay, maybe you have some memories of this place you had in the tunnel. Okay, this is more suggestive, right? I guess some of you remember some stuff. Okay, and the last one, it's a sidewalk. Okay, and now think about that. Was it fun, or was it just fun, or were you learning something in all these images? What were you learning on this tunnel? What were you learning on the floor is lava? And what were you learning when you walking? I don't know if you play about this, but I used to walk on the sidewalks without stepping on the lines. Other people I know, they want to walk on the sidewalk, stepping right on the lines. And my play was not to step on the line, but there are differences and there's variations on the same. Don't step on the lines, right? So these are the plays we had on these situations. So I guess this is universal. I was a bit afraid to bring this because I don't know if this is only Brazil, but I guess it's human, right? So I know how this thing works, right? So the next one I'm going to show you. How about if you were a wild animal? How would you solve the skills to train the skills you need in order to survive? You are going to need some skills, and you have to develop some skills. You have to develop your muscles, your physiology, your nervous system, and if you are going to mate, you have to train how to socialize, how to meet other individuals of your group. And how would that work? It's not easy, because think about it. If you have to train about something that is only useful in the future, in the very far future, when you're an infant, you don't have any motivation on training this. It's not really useful for you to train how to hunt when you have your mother or father bring the food to you. So this was a big problem. This was a huge problem, because if you don't train and you don't learn about this, you will starve before you learn how to really learn how to hunt. So this is a big issue. So my question is, how the evolution solved this problem? So, right? This is not easy. Okay? So I want you to look at these images now. A little monkey, he's playing to to pull the tail of his mate, and the two bears, and these two cheetahs, and a little dolphin playing. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a small silver ring in front of the dolphin. This ring is not really something solid, but it's air. It does some circles in the air, and he does some strings in order to make these circles flow and do these beautiful beautiful bubbles. And he plays with it. He keeps playing. If you go to YouTube later, you'll see that the dolphin keeps playing with these bubbles. It's really, really interesting. And very recently, we discovered that invertebrates can do that too, like octopuses and squids can do this. And it's very associated with a high form of intelligence. And what the nice thing about this is that do they look to you that they are training for something? Do they think they are training for something? Maybe you say yes, okay, maybe. But if I ask you what are they doing, most of you will probably tell me that they are just playing. And yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. And then we have this phrase from Mark Bekoff. Mark Bekoff is one of the main associates of Jane Goodall, which is very known for the chimpanzees work she did in Africa, which is amazing. And he says play is training for the unexpected, which is very interesting. I guess maybe you had some conscience that this already happened, but play is the answer of the evolution for learning, for long-term learning. What does that mean? This means that I don't have any advantages on training for hunting when I am a child, when I am an infant. But if I have some form of pleasure, of fun, when I'm doing these activities, I'm training for stuff that I will need in the far future. So I'm developing my skills, I'm developing my way of talking to others, I'm developing the physics, my physiology, and my neurology, all the stuff. And play is for survival, can be for survival, but yeah, that's true. And this is what they are doing. They are training for the unexpected. So gaming and playing is always a form of gathering repertoire. We are building our repertoire for something that I don't know if I will need, but if I need, it will be there. And this is what I love about the gaming and the fun. And so there's another phrase that I really love, which is emotions I like lads telling your brain, pay attention. This is important. Okay, so this is what our wiring is doing with our brain. It's like we are hacking our brains in order to, okay, pay attention. This is going to be huge. So you have to pay attention, even if it's not, which is really interesting. So what we're doing now, we are going to see, I'm going to show you, okay, sorry. I'm going to show you a little video. And I want you to pay attention in this video that I'm going to ask a question about that, okay? Okay, so this is my son. This is my son Toshio, and he loves to skate. He's on 2 months. He's training skating for 2 months now. He's playing, and he is really developing some skills. What I believe he's doing is that he's learning mostly how to fall and to get up after a big fall. And this is one of the most important skills I understand any person, any individual need to have. So this is what I believe. And this is the big questions we are all doing today. How much more would us learn if our learning experience were ludificated? And for some of you, ludification is not a familiar term. I'm going to explain briefly what's ludification. Ludification is a bigger term for gamification. Why is that? Because during my work, I realized that the game was not the end, but the means for a better learning, for better experience, for better involvement. So if I know the game is the mean for that, maybe I don't have to be, it doesn't have to be only games. I can expand the term and use ludification. Ludification is a Latin term for anything that is fun, anything that is cool. Why is that? Because the person who is in the other side, the user, is not interested whether it's a game or if it's not. He wants to know, he or she wants to know if it's fun or not. So if we stop thinking only about games and maybe expand the term for ludification, we are going to see that there is a bigger picture on that, a whole new world for us to explore. And this is what I believe, okay? And so learning experience ludification is not a novelty. Learning experience ludification is just us back to our most natural state. I hope you have liked the talk. I hope you enjoyed. I wish to talk more about this. If you want to talk more about this, please contact me on LinkedIn. I have this QR code is for my LinkedIn profile. So I would love to talk more about this. I'm passionate about it. So I wish to. And if you have any questions, please do so. I would love to discuss this. I guess we have like 5 or 6 minutes. So thank you so much, Rob.
Fernando, that was great. Thanks very much for all of that inspiration. I felt that you were, in a way, justifying why we need these things in learning, and I couldn't agree more. We definitely need it. Actually, there is a very good question. I'm going to show it here. It's a bit long, so bear with us for a second. So interestingly, human beings do need a compelling purpose to get engaged with learning, as Fernando was saying. Why do I need to learn about biology? Is something that somebody might ask. For what do I need this? And the question itself is, did evolution really solve it for human beings? What do you think, Fernando?
I guess evolution solved for any living, any mammalians. He solved the learning process for mammalians. But the problem is maybe we are not really aware of it. If you check marketing solutions, they are all about gamification because they know how to explore this very, very well. So what we need is to get the grasp of it and use that in education too, because it's all about motivation. So if you know which buttons you have to press, let me turn off. Okay, if you know which buttons we need to press, we can really maximize the learning to another level. So I guess I really believe, and yeah, there is a questioning that I really love because maybe the curriculum is not really the best yet. I guess there are modern approaches to learning that are considering that do we really needs all that stuff in biology? Maybe not. Maybe we need to know other things that we are learning now. So yes, there is a problem in the curriculum. There is some questions we need to ask in order to change the curriculum and do more personalized, more personal stuff that matters more to the user. This is your learning experience design. You only do learning experience design if you know the customer, if you know the user, if you know the guy who is learning. I could not agree more. Great.
There you go. So I just wanted to dip a half a cent here on this one. And the reality is that you can see that we have kind of stripped learning of all the fun. It used to be fun. It used to be very exciting. And I don't know if you've experienced this or you've seen it as well. My experience coming from a country that, access to education is not as widespread in many European or richer countries. Giving the opportunity of going to school to a kid who doesn't have a school in his town, who doesn't really know what school is all about, it's very exciting. You see kids actually excited about going to school. And
Yeah.
then, we kind of take that away because the system is built in the way that it is built. But I couldn't agree more. And that's the way it is actually supposed to be.
Because we have some things that we kept from old schools, and we had we in Portuguese, I don't know the name in English, but in Portuguese we have the name sabatina, which is a practice on Saturdays. The old schools would gather to hammer the guy who is learning with questions, and if he couldn't do that, it would be punished. We are still too focused on the bad sides of learning, and this is the negative side of learning, and we can do more than this. There is a point between the junior high school, the junior high and the elementary school, that the boys and girls, they stop loving the learning process, and this is a tragedy. We need to think how to make that more fun, more nice for people never love the passion for learning. This is a natural thing that many schools are killing, and this is a tragedy. We really need to review this.
Couldn't agree more. I put down a comment by Bernardo, an upcoming speaker as well, who's going to be coming in. But I didn't want to let you go, Fernando, without thanking you very much for all that inspiration, that work that you're doing in ludification. Again, talk about definitions. Here we go again. We didn't spend half a day without, again, getting into the definitions. Very interesting, something definitely worth considering. Thinking about ludification, gamification. In fact, in Spanish, gamification doesn't have a direct translation. So some people were talking about going for a more Spanish sounding thing like ludification, which is ludification, but in Spanish.
Great. Wonderful. This is wonderful. I couldn't ask for more. I really like to thank you all. It was a great experience. I've seen a lot of people talking. I couldn't read it all, but I promise I will read it. Thank you for so much involvement. It was really nice to feel connected with you all. Okay, thank you.